Who is the most powerful, discreet, and wealthy woman in the Middle East? You won't see her flaunting herself on social media. You won't find any interviews, scandals, or public statements. But every time she appears, time stands still. She looks impeccable, elegant, serene, and her mere presence commands respect. Her name is Sheikha Jawahir bin Hamad bin Sawim Al Thani, and although fee outside the Gulf know her. She is one of the most influential, admired, and richest women on the planet. She is the principal wife of the Emir of Qatar, Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the head of state of one of the richest countries per capita in the world, an emirate that revolves around natural gas, oil, global investment, art, soccer, and geopolitics. And behind the man who wields political power, there is a female figure who reigns from the shadows, without the need for titles or campaigns. They call her the silent power, but don't be mistaken. Nothing in her life is silent when it comes to luxury. Sheikha Jawahir is no outsider who happened to marry a prince. She is a royal throat and throat. She was born in Doha, into the powerful Al Thani clan, and her father, Sheikh Hamad bin Saim Al Thani, is a cousin of the previous emir, making her and her husband, Tamim, second cousins. The marriage between the two was not just a family tie, it was a dynasty cheese move to reinforce the pure Al Thani lineage and concentrate power in the innermost core of the royal family. The marriage took place in 2005, when Jawahir was just 21 years old. At the time, Tamim was not yet emir, but he was already heir to the throne. 9 years later, following his father's unexpected abdication, he became the new leader of Qatar, and with him, Jawahir ascended to the role of the First Lady. Although the emir has other wives, such as Sheikh Al Naud and Sheikh Nora, Jawahir is the only one officially recognized as the principal consort and mother of the heir, and there begins his reign. But unlike other public figures among the Gulf royals, who put their image with flashbulbs, headlines, and careful calculate appearance, Sheikha Jawahir has chosen silence as her personal signature. She doesn't have social media, she doesn't give interviews, she doesn't appear on magazine covers, not even to celebrating royalty or luxury. Her presence is selective, almost ritualistic, and yet when she enters the scene, her image alone speaks louder than 1,000 speeches. She doesn't need the approval of the priest or the likes of the virtual world. Her power isn't shouted out. It's felt with an invisible force that permeates every protocol. She is a woman who reigns without fanfare, a strategist of silence, an architect of the royal aura. A mother queen, yes, but deeply traditional, who understands that true power lies not in showing off, but in knowing oneself to be impossible to reach, and in that, however, it's absolute. His home is the symbol of his power, the royal palace in Doha, a massive structure with modern Islamic architecture, marble columns, gilded ceilings, oasis-like gardens, and security comparable to that of G20 heads of states. He lives there with the emir and his children, but has his own space, his own wings, and even his own staff: stylists, designers, chefs, private teachers, family doctors, and protocol advisors. Her jewelry is the stuff of legend, Van Cleef & Arpels, Bulgari, and Harry Winston, featuring rare stones never before seen in public. She reportedly owns a natural pink diamond worth over 40 million, and her tiara collection surpasses even that of some European royal house. When she attends official events, each piece she wears is silently analyzed by experts trying to decipher the aesthetic code of a woman who speaks with her image, not her voice. When it comes to her style, Sheikha Jawahir is the definition of restrained elegance. She has mastered the art of blending Islamic tradition with international haute couture in a way that is both subtle and striking. Her abayas are not simple garments. They are authentic works of art, crafted from the highest quality silk, hand embroidered by the finest artisans in Lebanon, the United Arab Emirates, and Morocco. Many of them are unique creations from houses such as Elisab, Valentino, Dior, and Suhail Murad, but carefully modified to maintain absolute respect for cultural and religious codes. It is said that she never repeats an outfit for official appearance, and that she keeps a collection of dresses never seen by cameras or the press, reserved only for intimate ceremonies and state gatherings. Each of her appearances is a silent lesson in power, elegance, and control. Her transfers also reflect the level of opulence in which she lives. She travels on a private jet from the Qatar Emiri flight fleet, an exclusive airline owned by the Qatari government. The plane, a modified Boeing 747-8, features a royal bedroom, meeting room, dining room, spa, and a prayer area facing Mecca. It's not an airplane, it's a flying palace, and when she travels with her family, another smaller plane carries her ascent, bodyguards, stylists, and doctors. At sea, her jewel is the super yacht Al Lusail, a 123-meter colossus valued at over 500 million, with a helipad, spa, pool, cinema, banquet hall, and suites and luxurious the rival does of the Burj Al Arab Hotel. The yacht is designed so that Sheikha Jawaher and her close circle can cruise in absolute privacy. The master suite features tinted windows, soundproofing, and custom-made Italian furniture. On land, their cars are not slouch, an armored Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Mercedes-Maybach S650 Pullman, a Bentley Muslin, and a fleet of high-end AUVs used exclusively by women of the royal family, all in pearl, gold, or champagne, all armored, all customized. But Sheikha Jawaher is not only a symbol of luxury, she is also a key figure in Qatar's soft politics. She is the patron of philanthropic foundations linked to education, health, and women's rights. She supports initiatives within the Qatar Foundations, the country's leading educational and innovation institution, which operates campuses at universities such as Georgetown, Carnegie Mellon, and Northwestern, tailored to the Qatari context. There, she promotes family education and fosters young women's access to scientific careers. Her influence was evident during the 2017 Gulf crisis, when Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Bahrain separate relations with Qatar. Although Sheikha Jawaher did not appear publicly during the conflict, she was part of the emir's inner circle of advisors and played a key role in the diplomatic decisions that allowed Qatar to resist isolation. Her stance was firm: do not give in to external pressure, do not weaken the internal system, and maintain power within both areas of the family clan. One of her sons, Sheikh Hamad bin Tamim Al Thani, has been designated as the next Emir, making Jawaher even more important, the mother of the future ruler. In the Gulf, that means having a crucial say in decision-making and the selection of political and marital allies. In other words, her power extends not only in the present, but into the coming decades. But no everything has been perfect. Within the palace, there are tensions. Although she is the main wife, the Emir has two other wives, and although there are no public conflicts, there are rumors in diplomatic circles of rivals for influence over the children. However, Jawaher has managed to maintain her supremacy as the only wife with international visibility and direct access to state protocol. At 40, Sheikha Jawaher remains an accessible and magnificent figure. For Qataris, she represents elegance, order, and tradition. For the rest of the world, she is a symbol of modern royalty, who has managed to stay above the noise, preserving her power intact. She doesn't need scandals, she doesn't need the limelight, she only needs to walk into a room for everyone to understand who the true queen of Qatar is. If this video left you speechless, imagine what's coming next. Like if you enjoyed the trip, comment on what impressed you most. Subscribe so you don't miss any stories of luxury and power, and share it with someone who dreams big. We don't just tell stories here, we live them with you. Thanks for being here, and remember, the best in the world is yet to be discovered. See you in the next video.